trying to feel like a professional Fortnite player, but actually now I need to talk to some. Vico, 7th place right now on the leaderboard. Is a win still possible?
Yeah, I think like it's kind of hard, but 1% chance, 99% faith. I think Queasy's got this in the bag though, but nothing's impossible, you know?
You seem to be very nice about some of your fellow European teams, also the American ones. I saw you fist pumping some of the North American guys. Is it all love on this stage?
So I think that it's not all love. There's 0 French players at this LAN. Keep booing me.
Okay, I might give him the sunglasses to put back on. Flixie, let me come to you because you do have top 5 experience from last year. And I want to know how you learned to go even further from last year to this year.
I mean, this year we placed first in Globage in the first FNCS, so we know how to win and we're going to do it today, so yeah.
Well, I have a feeling these guys are going to start to really enjoy being the villains when they prove themselves in just a few moments. But for now, let's head to Choca.
Hello back. Cette fois-ci, je suis avec Fredoxy, Pablo Wigo et Gino. Ils ont gagné la dernière partie hier soir. You won the last game yesterday. How you feel? Because you are the last one who won a game and you come back. Are you proud of yourself and are you here with a good energy?
Yeah, I mean, we finally got to get loot off spawn and hopefully we can continue today winning a game.
Ils vont continuer de gagner aujourd'hui. So have you tried to change some things or have you moved anything in your plan, in your strategy?
Yeah, we want viewed, of course, but I can't tell too much here.
So let's not speaking about it. Et mesdames et messieurs, la dernière question. Do you feel that the crowd is crazy in France?
No, I don't feel like they're against us, but they're definitely with their mate.
They are. Thank you very much. Let's go back to Frankie.
Thank you very much. I'm just getting visuals and braids to stand up. And Minish, please, on your feet. You're in 22nd place, okay? We can't afford to have you rest on your laurels here. What's the plan?
I'm just locking in, you know, I'm getting in the flow state.
Just like leaning back in the flight chair. Yeah, that's properly locking in. And Minish, what's the plan?
We're landing on Queasy.
Oh, landing on the hive. That's a very tricky drop spot, though, Braids. It's an incredibly tricky drop spot, the hive, especially when you're up against the players who are at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we have practiced it in the practice arena a little bit, so we should be able to do it good.
Visuals unbelieving. This is really going to happen. You're really going to drop at the hive today.
I guess you'll have to find out.
I think we will have to find out. One last time, please, Leon. 23!
Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. There's no way they're gonna land on Queasy. There's no way they're gonna land on Queasy, right? There's no way.
A little bit of farming going on, I'm pretty sure. They did a good job of it, right? 2 minutes left to go for the game, and we'll actually see what happens, but a little buzzard beater right there, kind of getting that clip in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bit of mind games, I don't know. It's not like they're directly contesting them on the leaderboard, right? They're quite far behind, but for that team, you know, they're going to be trying to think about new strategies. What can we actually do to climb our way up in the standings? Because this is a team that we have, of course, seen throughout the year doing pretty well in NA, right? They haven't necessarily had a great season in terms of divisional cups. They haven't been performing so well, so their form coming into it, this Globals is not so great, but when it comes to this stage, anything can happen. You've got 6 games now. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, I love, I want to call out Veno there. You know, love him or hate him, Veno is a character, bro. Got the walking out ice cold with the shades on, howling out, hey look, boomy, there's no French. Trios here though, that's, you know, that's ice cold, Veno.
I mean, yeah, obviously Veno kind of walking out like that, right? A lot of the trios still seeming to be in high spirits, kind of, you know, Pete reminding everybody of the FNCS wins as he comes out as well. But I think there was one of those walkouts that stuck out more than all of the others, right? And it's going to be the last one, of course. The crowd giving its utmost loudest roar, I'm pretty sure, of the weekend so far for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, and they deserve it.
And they love it. They absolutely love it. They're playing to it. Their play style sort of panders to it as well, right? Playing that high ground play style, the way they can win games, they can have clutch moments. Even the fraggers, of course, doing exactly what they do best, just providing highlight reel after highlight reel. They're a great team to watch. So not only, of course, they have 2 players on M8, they're also just great entertainers as a team. And you can hear it. absolutely love them, and for good reason.
Yeah, man, look at Sweezy. She's in there, man. I love to see this. I mean, guys, look, if we get any more victorials out of this trio today, I will lose my voice, and I feel like everyone in the stands will as well. Again, we could be looking at our new global champions. They have such a lead coming into today, and now we have to just hope whatever else is going on, that they're prepared. Maybe NA's dropping on them. I don't think so, but, you know, we just got to hope that they hold on strong.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have to, right? Globals, it's been a very rare occurrence for any of our winners to have 12 good games. So far, they've had 6. If they can continue to do well, pick up those top 5s like they have done consistently so, yeah, nobody's going to be able to catch them. But like I already said, very unlikely that they won't have, you know, a bad game in the mix. And once they do, that's going to kind of open the gates for all of the other trios to kind of catch up.
I'm calling it right here. It's not a crazy prediction, I'll be honest. Queasy game 1 win. They're doing it. It's such a Queasy thing to do. Looking at the VODs, making sure they're adapting to the lobby, coming out of the gate strong. It's such a Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache thing to do. They're playing it so well. They might have trouble later on down the line. I think a lot more teams, as we see quite often in Fortnite tournaments, is they need to try and boost their way up in the standings for their own good. So they might try and take height. But that first game, keep an eye on them.
Okay, all right, listen, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to say Kanata is going to come back, win 3 more games today, because that's what he personally told me. I'm going to win 4 at LAN. So I got to believe in NA. We're making a resurgence, okay? Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years, okay? Everything's all good to go. But you heard that sound. The battle bus is ready. 6 games here. Championship Sunday. After this, we will know who the new global champions are. It's game time!
Almost a year in the making just to get to this global championship. 3 different majors. So much heartbreak, emotion, and passion going into this moment. And 185-point lead for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. It's going to take everything that these players have just to take them down, let alone steal away that top spot.
It's always going to be a battle of mental fortitude, though, in a 2-day format, Jacob. And with a whole night to review, I'm expecting to see a lot of adaptations. And Pixie already feeling a little bit of pressure. Tags applied from a distance, but this is what it's really all about. Rangers ruin for Noxy. Pablo's already down for Noxy with the sweeper. He's trying to see if he can wrap around, provide a little bit of supportive measures. Atris is gonna fall. This could be everything right now, but Gino, he's trying to wrap around. Gino knows we might as well just finish this elimination off. We don't want to allow any kind of revive opportunity. 2 eliminations locked in, though, with Tayson having fallen to Chicho. Chicho barely standing, but it's all for Noxy, Pablo, and Gino to win it out. Now, let's see what they're really about for these end games.
And this time around, versus so many other games, they finished this fight rather quickly, minimizing the chance of any third party coming over. And you know, I know, and I think the world is on notice now. When Prodoxy is able to get off spawn, he goes on runs.
Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. A little bit of rumblings taking place all throughout the course of the early morning hours, and even leading into this morning inside the player practice room. You heard the possibilities. Maybe Queasy gets contested, but that's not going to be the case, at least not for Game 7. Same scenario taking place for Higgs, Iamzo, and Clicks. And keep in mind, Jacob, these guys are still well within striking range of top 5.
Yeah, 8th place basically to end the day yesterday, and it's kind of building momentum, building confidence. These guys have all played on the global stage before. They just need to go ahead and channel it. This is day 2, the last chance, 6 games. They just have to leave no regrets left on that table, just like this team here. Contested, uncontested, they made it work no matter what went their way from the Kappa factory, and now they are just a few big games away from potentially taking a 2nd or even a 1st place spot, depending how Swizzy, Quizzy, and Mustache continue to perform throughout the day.
And while being uncontested is likely ideal for Seti Panzer and Yapko, it does force them to have to revisit where is our surge strategy going to come into play. They're not the only ones that have had to take those instances and just rewrite how they want to work it through. Dark Demon's Picks, on the other hand, just waiting, farming. An Epic Whale with a dastardly plan.
Well, you said it yourself, lurking, but from one team to another, you're kind of seeing the change up of strategies. Instead of finding out over at Dystopia, it looks like Epic, Paper, and Victor V are ready to make moves. 72 points after day number 1 is a hole that they didn't even expect themselves to be in, especially to start the day. It was Victor V that stopped the momentum from building from Peterbot himself by taking him out in a crucial 1v1 to save Epic Well because he was down.
It actually looks like Epic Well, Paper, and Victor V might have visited that bird a little bit too late. Eye drop and co likely already stripped most of the metal here, and it's just the scraps left behind. Paper, Victor V, and Epic, they didn't exactly have the most primed up loadouts, so they've got to be really wary of that team on Shining Span.
Yep, just kind of taking the risk of not being able to get loot early on, try to get a fight to go their way. We'll see if it does continue to work out, but Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual still spinning that wheel, landing at the outskirts, not contesting Dystopia, and quickly moving on over towards Foxy Floodgates. You know that Visuals, Braids, and Menace typically do land over here. They're already gone position, and that team in front that they're hunting down. But from one side of the map to the next, the contested fights still continue. Adapter landing good shots on the pump, forcing him back, and he's kind of separated from the rest of the team. That's going to give Adapter just a little bit of confidence to move on over. But since he doesn't know exactly where all 3 members of this tree are at, it's just a little bit too risky for him to keep that aggression up as Baka, Pars, and Pump all drop down low to that low ground just to re-farm what little materials that they do have.
Problem is, both of these teams are now rather isolated, Jacob. They spent a decent amount of time in this position, way far east of everybody else. So now Adapter, Mansour, they don't even have any materials. They were trying to pounce on this opportunity, but when the time to elimination isn't wrapped up nice and pretty like what we witnessed between Kaysen and Prodoxy, you just get these drawn-out exchanges, and it's not necessarily going to benefit either team because they're both really low on materials. They're so far out of the way compared to everybody else. They still gotta push in eventually, and they're not really going to get a whole lot off of the other party, even if one does win the fight. So Adapter, Mansour, Badlord, they spot it out. They know they can't afford to spend any more time. They need to create some space.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you said, where there's not enough resources as well. And you got to realize, even if they do win this fight, especially Baka, Pars, and Pump, they are missing chunks of shield, a little bit of HP, so Storm Surge is not going to be much, even with that elimination there on the Mansour. Not sure that he didn't get the memo that the rest of his team already rotated out, but that's a blessing in disguise for Baka, Pars, and Pump. Just a little bit of Surge, but as I was saying, it's not a ton. So their job isn't done yet. They're going to have to be predators in this lobby to try to hunt and figure out where they can start to accumulate that damage, because yesterday that was one of their weaknesses. Just like a few of the teams in this lobby, falling below that damage threshold, you kind of lose control over your own game. You have to push teams in which you normally wouldn't push.
The elimination feed certainly lighting up though with a chunk of Nox, and Bolts loses his shield, but based off of what we just saw inside of this Surge base, don't think that Bolts is all that pressed for it. Pixie, Vanya, Marius just taking their time. These pre-established Surge bases, you have a pretty good idea of where other teams are going to be at, so you know that you're very likely to be able to farm a few Surge tags if you just set up in advance.
Activity still going on this side of the map. It's actually going over back towards that OXR HQ. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual continuously trying to hunt down Visuals, Braids, and Diminish. But Razzle, Tete, and Rido, they're also rotating on over from Dystopia City. And this is kind of becoming a cluster of teams trying to take this high ground position outside of the OXR HQ, which I can understand why, but you're seeing Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, and some of the other teams choose, hey, maybe this is not worth it. We still need damage elsewhere, and as long as both teams stay boxed up, there's no opportunity for said damage.
Problems definitely occurred though for Visuals, Braids, and Diminish. Vaito, Tete, they're also fully aware of the fact that Peterbot's team very likely still lurking nearby, so it's not like they're gonna have a smooth exit. But Victor V, Epic Whale, they found themselves a little bit too tangled up here. Reek, Curly, and Cooper certainly have a little bit more priority positioning, but Victor V, he's got to try and hold things down. He wants to provide a little bit of relief towards Epic Whale. They just don't have a whole lot to work with in comparison to Curly, who's just trying to charge, see if he can run Epic down, but Reet now taking the forefront positioning. Reet instead going to be left to fall behind as Epic now scattered, but that's breathing room.
Yeah, and this is just a tough position to see both Victor B and Epic Well's loadout. They only have bandages, which is really not going to help them in this situation. No extra shields, which means Epic Well is just one pump away from going down. Victor B and him have to figure it out, but Benno, Flixie, Vico, they're trying to do the same thing. Not necessarily fighting the same off spawn, even with 2 eliminations, quickly rotating away from that Cannon's Crossing and end up in another exchange against one of it. But you can see neither team just kind of going all in, just trying to end the fight quickly. There is a little bit of elevation difference, but that's going to go over to Benno, Flixie, and Vico. So now they have the options, the choices of what to do next.
The key part, though, about Benno, Vico, and Flixie is you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile here, and they know that they applied a good amount of damage against Madim and Buyuriru, so they could be content with the surge that they built up, but knowing those guys, they're definitely out for more. They want at least 1, 2, even 3 eliminations, but Madim, Wixie, they're going to actually get up close and personal, but Wixie bit off more than he could chew. Vico's going to have no problem shutting that one down, and Flixie credit for 2, Benno with 1, but a nice cleanup all the way through.
So they just kind of went for an all-or-nothing play, and just the team's timing wasn't there. Madim got kind of shut down. Buyuriru wasn't able to put down pressure because he had the DMR, but now it's turning around on him. Vico, Flixie, Benno, they're dropping down from above. They know they have a huge numbers advantage, and that's why Vico's playing from the top down, trying to cut off any path, any escape through toward the top, takes a shot, reassesses the situation, knowing his teammates do have some pressure. It's going to allow him to heal just a little bit. As Brian just getting a good shot. Buyuriru doing the same thing. Benno's being forced back, but the numbers are just way too much for them to handle. Vico gets the last laugh on the Buyuriru.
If it had been anyone else, might have been a little bit more worried there for Benno, but we knew he still had Flixie and Vico to back him up, no problem. Only 52 HP remains, though, for Medium, and whether or not Flixie, Benno, Vico decides to stick around, they might realize there's a third party that could easily roll on over, but they found the eliminations they needed to, so now they can just look to cut off Anon in the process.
Yeah. They got that same feeling that you did. Somebody might be pushing over. The fight might have taken way too long, drawing a lot of attention, and yes, it actually has. All the way from across the ocean, OCE from that low side on the map. Storm Surge is going to be one of their biggest worries dropping there if the zone does pull towards the top. They really have to start to figure out a way to take advantage of it. And with 2 teams here, Vico, Flixie, and Benno, and a solo player that they did leave behind down below, they're just kind of waiting here, getting information. They know H's team also lands on this side of the map, so they're trying to figure out where is the easiest possibility to get that damage.
It's just no secret. Anon was very vocal about the fact that he is not a fan of the way Surge has been working.